Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you're so motivated to do so. This is Wonders of a Black Woman. A 19-year-old young lady just shy of her 20th birthday was excited to go on her first date with a 33-year-old that she had met. This young Black woman was just an exceptional young lady. She graduated high school early. She was pursuing her college degree. She had her own a little apartment. She had a job. She really was a dependable, respectful, reliable young lady, and she was single. So she does what a lot of single young ladies do. They date. You know, they're open to meeting and seeing what's out there and things like that. Well, she went on a date with this guy, and he is accused of literally murdering her and chopping her to pieces and just throwing body parts all over the city. She went on a date with him April 1st of this year. By April 2nd, a human leg was found. And subsequently, in subsequent days, more and more parts of her body have been found. The family has not been able to have a funeral because all of her parts have not been found, and the medical examiner is holding off on an official cause of death until they can get more parts of her. Yesterday, unfortunately, they found what they suspect is her arm and torso. The reason why I'm doing this video is because this young lady deserves justice. Her family deserves justice, but there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is a broader aspect of this particular case. The man who murdered her is white and the son of a wealthy family. It has gotten so bad with the Black and brown women being abducted, murdered, that a Black legislator is trying to propose a task force to investigate these crimes
of missing and killed Black women and girls.
Fox 6's Durante Matthews joins us live with her mission to create a state task force. Durante?
And Ted, Mary, Democratic representative, that is, Sheila Stubbs, says she's been fighting for this task force for at least the past 2 years now. And the recent death of 19-year-old Sade Robinson is only adding fuel to her fire.
My heart hurts for her family.
Representative Sheila Stubbs is brought to tears when thinking of the death of 19-year-old Sade Robinson.
We have to do something now.
Milwaukee police say Robinson was killed and dismembered earlier this month after a first date with 33-year-old Maxwell Anderson, who's now charged with her homicide. But violence against African-American women is an ongoing issue in the state that Stubbs says needs to be addressed now.
How many more Black women or girls have to be sacrificed in this state before we do something?
Data from the CDC says in 2020, Wisconsin had the highest homicide rate for Black women in the country. That rate doubled from 2019 to 2020.
There's a resource issue. and we need to handle it.
These numbers and issues prompted Stubbs to propose a bill 2 years ago that would create a task force for missing and killed black women. The proposal failed, so Stubbs reintroduced it this session, fueled by the case of missing Racine woman Lashiki Hill. But Republican Senator Dewey Strobel never scheduled it for a public hearing in his Government Operations Committee. He sent us this statement saying, in part, "While I believe the authors of this bill are well-intentioned, I personally have reservations about creating a state government task force that focuses on only one facet of a much broader societal problem." Strobel ultimately...
The issue that he has is that she wanted this task force to look into black women being killed and abducted. They have the highest rate in the country, so obviously, and if you know anything about the history of Milwaukee, of Wisconsin, it is not a black-friendly place. I remember I had went on a convention up there, and, you know, I was being told by local black people of the divide, of the segregation, of the racial tension there. And when I was there, the waiters, the waitresses, the way they would look at me like they were beneath serving me, or like, what are you doing here? You know, type of thing. And of course, I'm not from there, so I don't know what's supposed to be the black spot or the white spot or the, you know, I'm just there because I was doing advocacy work and we had a convention up there. But as I learned from the black locals, that it is pretty thick with racial tension up there. So it's not a surprise that he chose not to. Anything that comes to something that was specifically help black people, it's always shot down. You know, Asians had a brief uptick of violence towards them during COVID, and just like that, they got an anti-Asian hate crime bill. Blacks have been discriminated against, beaten, lynched, killed, raped, all kinds of things for hundreds of years in this country. There's no bill specifically adding extra penalties to any hate crime towards us in particular. There's an epidemic of black women in particular and other minorities that is going on up there, and it needs to be looked into, and they are resisting doing that. This person that killed Sade, he had a 6 foot deep, 5 feet long grave, well, hole, quote unquote. Some people say it was a grave that he had dug in his backyard. And a lot of the experts that I've watched, Nancy Grace, a lot of the legal experts say that even Sade's mom was saying that he's probably not, this probably was not his first murder. He's probably been running around doing this for a while. And so, unfortunately, Sade was caught up in it, and it's really starting to highlight the fact that these black women are being targeted like this up there in Wisconsin. I really don't understand what, you know, sometimes you have, and I'm just saying this because I sort of, when I dug into this story, it reminded me of some stories that I've heard from other black women before, either I've personally known or I've seen on TV or radio, heard on radio. You have some white men who may be attracted to black women, but they hate the fact that they're attracted to black women. because they're not supposed to be attracted to you. And quote unquote supposed to be. And they know that it's not acceptable in society or in their family to want to be with you or to like you or to be attracted to you. And they sort of hate themselves for being attracted to you. So a lot of Black women, not all, of course, but a lot of Black women that end up in these types of interracial relationships with men that have an issue with either Black people, or they're fetishizing them as Black women, or they struggle with the fact that they're even attracted to you in the first place. You have to really be careful. And I'm not telling if you want to swirl all around the world, that's your business. But what I would say to you is you need to really understand this person's mentality, how they were raised, the mentality of their closest relatives and family members, especially if you're going to be doing this, because we can't pretend as though that, okay, you meet somebody, you like him, he likes you, or you're willing to date him, he's willing to date you. You can't pretend as though there's not a history of racism in this country. It just is. And you can't pretend as though that person may not have racial biases or prejudices that they're bringing into the relationship. You look at some of these European countries, for example, where Black sex and sexuality is extremely fetishized. You know, I've seen in France, they've had all kinds of pastries that were made in images of Black male or female genitalia parts, or it's like, to, you know, I don't want to get too deep down that rabbit hole in this video, but I just find it interesting that when it comes to Black women in particular, Black people, when it comes to legislation that specifically is to protect us, we don't get any support. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat, Republican, whatever. We don't get any support.
Released a proposal which ended up getting bipartisan support in another committee, but it never made it to the full Senate floor. Stubbs says the fight is far from over.
What do we want?
I'm not, and you can take this one to the bank, going to stop until something is done across the street for Black women and girls.
Milwaukee County investigators found more remains believed to belong to Sade Robinson.
She, of course, is the 19-year-old woman police say was killed and dismembered after a first date. Christina Vanzels is live in South Milwaukee. That's where those body parts were found. Christina, what do we know?
Ted, when it comes to this area, it's technically closed off, but people who live around here say many still walk along the shoreline and the beach. Investigators tell us that they already had scheduled a sonar boat detection to go out and search Lake Michigan tomorrow before this discovery. But today, Sade Robinson's loved ones were out here searching for any additional clues they could find.
Just the brutality of everything.
It's an investigation leaving people in Milwaukee County speechless.
Cutting up someone's body is just, it's hard to even say the words.
Investigators say a person walking the beach spotted human remains around 7:30 Thursday morning. The sheriff's office says a torso and arm were found, believed to belong to Sade Robinson.
But during her emotional interview with Nancy Grace, Sheena continues to call for justice for her daughter.
This is traumatizing, Nancy. I never
practice is to pull up on my front door.
An unimaginable couple of weeks for Sade Robinson's mother, Sheena Scarborough.
This isn't normal. This is a 2024 Jeffrey Dahmer.
A comparison many are making as Sade's body parts keep turning up across Milwaukee County.
The last time I spoke to my daughter was on Easter Sunday, okay? We seen her. She came by my parents' home. We spent the Sunday together.
The next day, on April 1st, is when Sade was first reported missing. It's also the night we now know she was killed.
Sade was a beautiful soul. She was an amazing girl. I couldn't have asked for any better daughter. There was things my daughter did that many adults were not even able to accomplish in their lifetimes.
Sade was set to graduate with her associate's degree next month.
This has caused so much emotional effect to my family, my parents, who love my baby so much, her grandparents, her uncles, her aunties, the community. Everyone has pulled up. This has affected many people in Milwaukee.
Over the last several weeks, friends and family of Sade have spent countless hours searching for her body to give her the proper burial she deserves.
They mess with the wrong family. We're going to call all of them out, and we're going to speak for the whole community. Because I'm not about to sit down and I'm not about to sit still on this one. It's justice for Sade, Nancy. It's justice.
Justice for Sade, that phrase echoing across our community as friends, family, and volunteers continue their search and seriously refuse to give up. It's a story that we're going to continue following, Steve.
You were out there at the beach today as well as people were searching. What was it like to see people there with rakes and sticks just poking at the sand on their own, trying to turn up some clues?
I think it's just emotional for everyone. Even being at the scene myself, you can feel the emotion, you can feel the dedication of the people searching. Again, people who didn't even know Sade are coming out, they're helping this family, they're helping the family's friends, all to make sure that she is brought back together as a whole. And you can really just feel the entire Milwaukee community coming together for that.
That family.
Be careful out here, ladies. Sade Robinson, may she rest in peace, and may justice be served for her, her family, and all of those who are missing and murdered. Black women's lives matter. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you're so motivated to do so. This is Wonders of a Black Woman. Peace.